Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this session on Road to ISB, where we'll be decoding your PGP and PGP YL application strategy with the Director of Admissions and Financial Aid at the Indian School of Business, Mr. Pritesh Zaveri. So, Mr. Zaveri is a seasoned higher education leader with over 25 years of global experience in student recruitment, admissions, marketing, and institutional growth across India, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Throughout his career, he has held leadership positions across higher education, IT, retail, and distribution, successfully driving strategic growth, building high performing teams, and strengthening institutional brands. His expertise spans admissions management, student recruitment strategies, digital marketing, outreach, partnership development, market expansion, and operational excellence. He is widely recognized for creating scalable systems that enhance student experiences while delivering sustainable institutional growth. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Richa. And thank you for all the folks who has been online. I can see the number keeps on increasing every second. And it's a Friday evening. So unlike a slightly older generation of mine, I think the Friday evening is taken up very seriously with the Gen Zs that I'm going to speak to today. And a lot of them would be Gen Zs, I'm sure of that. So I'll quickly embark on today's first presentation. And the presentation is not to only tell you about the full-time residential programs that ISB has to offer to most of you guys, but also to break a lot of myths. As we talk to a lot of students, we keep on getting questions, which program is better? We keep on hearing, I'm just 2 years experience, what should I apply for? Right? So placements is an outcome, but that outcome is derived with 1 or 2 years that you spend at ISB. So one slide that I'm going to miss today is on the placement. I would request all of you to do a bit of research and then come back to us because not everybody gets 1 crore salary, but at the same time, there are a few students who still get 1 crore rupee salary. So see where you belong to and make a final plan that yes, if ISB is the right place for you to be or not. So, of course, both the programs, that is postgraduate programs in management, one is PGP, which ISB started with. I would rather not call it as a flagship program, but we started with PGP, meant for experienced students of minimum 2 years of work experience. And we also now have a young leaders program for 0 to 2 years of work experience. And we are going to talk more about it. We are going to differentiate and see where you belong to. So first, a short intro of ISB. And I'm not going to read out the slides. Of course, we all know ISB as a premium B school of India. But ISB was established being independent, international top ranked and research driven management institution. And 25 years down the line, we are India's top ranked B school. That is, we are number 1 in India, number 2 in Asia, and number 12 worldwide. So, ranking, tick mark. We have also been ranked number 5 by LinkedIn, who independently researches the alumni trajectory. And so, no data to be submitted, nothing to be done. And fortunately, ISB, due to our fantastic alumni, and goes without saying the students, we have been ranked number 5. But one unique feature which a lot of students have a myth about that ISB being independent. Why is it an independent institution, not under AICTE, UGC, and there are other places also. So ISB has ensured, or ISB has opted to remain independent, which helps us to foster our global partnerships, which helps us to change the curriculum as and when required, and goes without saying to ensure that there is a quick turnaround on the feedback of the industry and the student. So ISB, I'm sure in nearby future we would love to remain independent, because that is associated with ISB, right? And another unique feature what ISB comes along with is that ISB was not founded by one individual or one owner or one promoter or one trust. ISB was had the way ISB was formulated, I would say. We had the best of the schools such as Kellogg or Wharton, who became part of our board of governance, which means they have a good say in the way ISB defines its curriculum, student outcomes, and the global partnership. And of course, a partnership then was taken forward with London Business School and Fletcher. ISB was also one of, not one of these, the first in India and 100th in the world to get Triple Crown accreditation. And what does it mean? That the education that you get at ISB is at the same pedigree as the world's best B schools, right? So now India has three Triple Crown, if I'm not mistaken, the B schools. But ISB has been carrying this entire, being the first one, and who has been there with us for longish period of time. Now comes the breaking of the myth. So the two programs that I spoke about, one is PGP, or Young Leaders Program, another one which is our PGP or Postgraduate Program in Management, right? I'll first talk about PGP because, as I rightly mentioned, it's been there with a legacy of 25 years. That's where ISB started with, right? It's meant for students who comes with minimum of 2 years of quality work experience, right? So the program, the way it is designed with students who already has a foundational corporate experience. It's not the quantity that we are looking at, it's the quality and the clarity of thought that comes along with it. Notwithstanding, there would be a lot of you students who probably would like to wait for 2 years, but to have an early acceleration and the knowledge that comes with a good management education, which is 0 to 2 years of work experience. So freshers are as welcome as, I would say, 1 year, 11 month, 29 day student are most welcome. But this is meant for you who would like to have the acceleration, which is much earlier. And we do understand that you come with a fresh mindset. That's the reason this program is for 20 months, where we can work on your foundation, we work on your leadership skills, and ensure that you become a so called leader in your own right. Both the programs, and the way I define it as that it is one standard, two journeys, but reaching to a place where ISB wants to create leaders for for India and the world. So what does it mean? A leadership is not just a position at ISB, but it's the trait that every student would learn, is to inspire, is to influence, and ensure that you add value to the corporation or society in general. So it's a very different mindset that I'm not looking at student to take over a managing director position tomorrow morning. Of course, you're most welcome to take it up, but I want you to earn that position, right? With the trait that this tells you that you have a right management education. And of course, as I rightly mentioned, the outcome would be the success, outcome would be the confidence, outcome would be the network, and outward outcome would be much, much beyond that the normal curriculum that gives it to you. At ISB, we also talk about the world-class faculty. So when I say we talk about the world-class faculty, just think of it. When I say world-class faculty, what does it imply? ISB probably is the only school, as I rightly mentioned, that is given as a space where you have 70 in-house scholars, 70 plus now, but almost 200 faculty members across the globe from the schools, which you can see some logos on your screen itself, who comes to teach at ISB. What you get out of it? One, you get an exposure to what's happening in the world. So you're not going to lead only in India or only in Mumbai or only in some other place. We want you to adapt. We want you to understand. We want you to start researching the problems which probably may happen in next 10, 20, 30 years with the world's best faculty members. And that is what ISB brings to you, that yes, we have tenured faculties, professors, we have in-house faculty members, we have professional teams, but at the same time, there is a pool of world's best faculty which is available to all of you. And remember, they are not just flying in, flying out. Most of them would be there with you for a whole term, right? Which gives you enough time to really get maximum out of it inside the classroom and outside the classroom. PGP YL, as I rightly mentioned, it is meant for the students. And I would request a lot of you guys to have a keen eye on this, because you'll see actually the difference. What is actual difference between PGP YL and PGP? It's not the salaries, guys. It's not that one is better, another one is not better. It's what suits you and how the program is designed. So if you see, PGP YL starts with a mandatory courses, which is foundational courses, functional courses. We also understand that you are slightly low on, I would say, work experience. And we talk about how do you really work in the corporate environment effectively. And finally, what ISB is known for, experiential learning, which includes the life projects, which includes entrepreneurship mindsets, and you also have a summer internships. There is a term for a global perspective, which I will talk about. What does, if you want to go for some international exchanges, what do you have for that also? We can always talk, I will talk about it, I will touch upon that. But if you see, what we have here is any student who feels that I don't have any work experience, ISB is not a right space for me, I would say PGP YL is the best place for you to be there. You start from foundation and come out confident that you are in all terms ready to become lead the world globally, right? Now, as soon as now these are the elective courses, we don't call it as a specialization, but this is more of a concentration where student can take up general concentration, that is pick and choose from each one of the concentration. They can take multiple concentration specialization. It's but it all comes with a good guidance from the faculty members and others when we as we move forward. Now comes the PGP. You can actually see the foundation almost missing. Now it's just been replaced with the core courses. What does it mean? We actually feel that the 2 solid years minimum that you have spent at a corporate has given you some foundation, and we quickly start building over it. And it's an 11 months program, which means it's going to be compact, but it's going to be real, in sense, a lot of learnings to come in. So you have something called core courses, but what ISB has also introduced, and I don't know any other institution in India having this, which is Flexi-Core. So out of these Flexi-Core, you can select the courses which becomes part of your core courses, right? And yes, these are the only choice right now you have. You also have experiential learning program, which is a live project that you would be working with an organization, as well as a block week. Generally, the block weeks are very near to your placement window or coincides with your placement window, where you are solving real life corporate problems, not sitting in the classroom, but maybe a lot of times at the corporate also. Typically, we have seen that the corporates also reach out to our students after these courses also, saying that, please, you've done a fantastic job before. Can you help us more? Right. And that's where the birth of a lot of PPOs would happen. And if you actually see the way electives are designed, these electives are designed more on business disciplines as well as industries. So somebody walking in and saying that I have been a techie, I've got a 5 years work experience doing only technology. I want to pivot. The pivot does not just happen because you are joining ISB. You are learning the core courses. You are ensuring that you're picking the right flexi course. You are ensuring that you have an experiential learning, and you are taking up a discipline as well as industry, which probably makes you really a wanted professional for these industries or in a consulting space. So imagine you are looking at finance with a public policy, and just think of it, right? You have never done finance in your life, but now you've got practically two things to look at. Maybe a concentration such as entrepreneurship, finance, marketing, operations, information technology management, but at the same time, application of these concentration, you can also go deeper down for a particular industry. Now, this is a flexibility what ISB gives you. So this is the biggest differentiator has been. The work experience the student comes with is taken so seriously at ISB that this defines what you're going to do in next 1 2 years or the program that you're going to come with. So, oh, do you think I should resign my job because I want to enter PGP YL? No, I would say no. Come with an honest mindset. What you have, if you think you have a 2 solid years of work experience, PGP is a program for you. If you think you are less than, not think, but there's a calculation I'm going to talk about. If you're less than 2 years of work experience, YL is the right program for you. I did talk about pedagogies, but just think of it that what we understand that learning does not just happen in the classroom. It happens with experiential learning. I did talk about few of the live projects that you do, business simulations, case studies, in-class interventions, and industry speakers and visits. So think of it, you probably want to join McKinsey, or you want to join into HUL or Colgate Palmolive. You have somebody coming from there talking to you how the industry is shaping up. You may get an opportunity to go there and do a live project, work with those teams. You also look at the case studies which are similar happening throughout the globe and the global exposure by the faculty. How prepared would you be when it comes to your final outcome, which is your placement in these companies? And as I rightly mentioned, the placements at ISB is an outcome of this wonderful work we have put in through research, through our wonderful faculty, our alumni network, industry partnerships, right? And finally choosing right program for the right candidate or an aspirant like you. So here comes the international exchange program. Again, ISB has a lots and lots of them. So we don't pick and choose a student going there. Every student is eligible to pick up the exchange partner and a program, depending upon the some tick marks in the bidding system, which ISB is known for. But yes, it's also available, and you can actually see this, the kind of institutions that ISB has partnered with you. And it's not it's not compulsory you should go for it, right? Because we are also getting these industry guys and the students in exchange partnership back to ISB. So it's not one-way traffic, it's a two-way traffic. All this experience put together, and I think one line I can sum it up for both the programs. At the end of the program, you're not just going to be left with the skills or in management, but the confidence to achieve what you thought of achieving in your life. So one thing which is common for every alumni and student or at ISB is the confidence that they can do something which probably not a normal student would envisage. And if you really think that you have that vigor, you have that zeal, we will talk about what ISB looks for, but I think ISB would be a right place for you. I'll talk about, again, not the placement statistics as such, but how do we really do it? Again, ISB probably is the only institute that I remember or I know of where placements are not driven by student bodies. At ISB, we take a complete onus in preparing the candidates to face the corporate challenges, face the ambiguities, and face ever changing things. So, for example, I was asked with AI coming in, a lot of people would lose our jobs. I think a lot of ISBN would have answered is technology keeps on changing, but with technology, when you also change and when you also adapt, you should not worry about the job loss. You should worry about how many jobs would you carry, right? So a few years back, we had blockchain. Before that, we had something else. Before that, we had something else. We all moved on. So what stays with you is your confidence, your learning ability, your research skills, your communication skills. These are non-replaceable skills that you gain and which really makes you an ISBN. I talked about Global Alumni Network, and I think ISB is ranked number 6 by Financial Times worldwide for having a great one of the best alumni network across. And if you research a bit, you'll actually see. Don't even ask me. Just go to LinkedIn, try reaching out to some of the alumni to help you out. Understand what ISB stands for, and I'm sure they'll be more than helpful to take it. We have a lot of scholarships which are sponsored by Alumni Network, right? And one of the finest network that I have seen. So you come for an ISB event, you'll see an alumni there. You go for an interview at ISB, you'll see an alumni there, which talks about how well knit this community is all about. And remember, 10 years down the line, you probably looking to start something on your own. You are looking at a seed funding. You are looking probably at a change in role or change in job, right? Here is the network which is doing wonderfully well. They are who's and who in the industry of your choice, and that's which matters. I'm sure most of you know that we have two campuses, Hyderabad and Mohali. One another myth I would like to break is there is no better campus. There is no one campus which is better than another. At both the campuses, right from academics to the facilities to the kind of students, remains same. So, for example, PGP batch is split into two. You don't have a choice. We would decide based on a lot of attributes, but what you get is exactly the same. Even the recruitment or the placement companies do not know what campus you belong to. And trust me, guys, even after you are placed, nobody would know which campus you belong to. So, unlike the myths that particular campus of a particular institution is good, second one is not good, that's not our narrative. Our narrative is whatever we give, it remains the same. And our philosophy would remain that we are one school, two campuses. It can be one school, two programs, but ultimately, which is PGP and YL, but ultimately it's same vision and mission that we all are trying to accomplish here. Again, ISB stands at the forefront of entrepreneurship. So this 13 plus unicorns is supposed to be now 16 plus, fortunately. There has been an addition. But what I can also talk about, India's first unicorn was founded by an ISBN, right? And you can do your own research, Google it up. I know the name, but I would suggest all of you start doing some research before you even think of getting into any institution. You should do your research also. Who should apply? Now, this is $1 million question. I think Richa has been talking to me that let's break some myths here. I will make it in a very bold capital wordings. ISB does not have a cutoff. At ISB, what we have is a holistic viewpoint of your application. What we look at is your academics, which is absolute percentage, and the institution that you have graduated or completed your 12th from. We would look at your GMAT, GRE, CAT scores. And I will tell next slide. I will talk about what does CAT stand for. That is which program you can apply with CAT, GMAT, and GRE. But we look at your aptitude test scores. We don't have sectional cutoffs, but we do have a keen eye on your sectional marks also, but there are no cutoffs. We would look at your extracurriculars, your achievements, your notable achievements, and we would also look, and please mark this, guys, very well, your essays. We don't have so-called statement of purposes and all. Your essays is an honest autobiography about yourself, where you tell us that what made you think about ISB and what's your future goal. This is where ISB would try to align with your future goal and think whether we are good institution for you or not, right? A very typical question. I am a 90 percentiler. Should I apply to ISB? I would say definitely yes. So 90 percentile is one of the component in your in your entire holistic process. You have other three places where you can really show the spark, which includes your academics, which includes your achievements, which includes your extracurriculars, which includes your internships that you would have done, right? For PGP, you can also showcase the quantity and the quality of your work experience. It's exactly opposite. If you think I'm a 10-year work experienced guy, will I fit into the batch? I would say that yes, you can fit into the batch, but means that you'll have to really prove your 10 years quality of work experience. I have a gap year, how it will be treated. At ISB, we look at your achievements rather than looking at what you have not done anything. So you can come in with a gap year. I would probably not, I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at it while you are actively working what you have been doing, right? So don't worry about this things what you have not achieved in life. I would rather say with as an ISBN, your mindset should be let's achieve, let's really celebrate your achievements, what you have performed, what you have done, right? So very quickly, guys, no cutoffs, right? Second would be which are the avenues that you can really outshine. And I'm sure all of you have something. It's just that you need to sit down, think it through, maybe take IMS's help also, what you should be put showcasing at the end of the day, right? And once you do that, you have equal chance than anybody who comes with low ACADS, higher aptitude test score, or low ACADS, very good test score, very good work experience, very good internships. So we ISB is giving you multiple chances to showcase. Do not just think that you're not meant for it. Give ISB a challenge that is it the right institution for you instead of saying that you are not right for ISB, right? And we would like to see your diversity. We would like to see what you are good at in every aspect of application. And that's the reason I keep on talking about that a lot of students have a habit of starting the application post their CAD, GMAT, GRE scores. I would rather suggest your application at ISB is as important as your scores, if not more. So start today if possible. Take your own sweet time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, till the time you're ready. Maybe you already have your scores ready and you should complete your application. But if you really think that, oh, 1 day is enough for ISB application, trust me, you are actually trying to put yourself off the race because you need to craft good application. Just think back your 15 years of your education career or 5 years or 2 years of your working or professional career. What have been your achievements, right? It's very difficult, guys, just to come up with that, oh, you know what, 2 years back I did achieve this. So you need to really do introspection, come up with your best foot forward. And I think ISB is looking forward to that. Touch points, and I'm sure here is IMS for you as a touch point. So there's no point me talking about a lot of touch points. Yeah, and we are open enough for you guys. Please come and talk to us. Please speak to IMS as much as possible, right? Do not just self-reject yourself because you have experts here who can really tell you whether ISB is meant for you. And we are very different. So we would rather not go with narratives which has been set for years together about the cutoffs, about which campus. We would rather go with a narrative which is set by number one institution in India, which is we are open for all. You should need to show us the spark. And I think with this, I'll end my presentation. And Richa, if there are questions, I'll love to answer them.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for this information. So we have a lot of questions on our Q&A section. Uh, Most of the students just summing it up for you. So a lot of students did ask about their eligibility if they have a gap year, which you already addressed during your presentation. So gap year either during their work or after their graduation. If they have a gap year, they are eligible. And does that have any impact on the application?
Not at all. So I'm sure you would like to show that. So I've heard this from a lot of other institutions. If you have a gap year, you need to give an affidavit. Affidavit for what? For example. So I get student who probably graduated 10 years back, but they were studying for UPSC,
Okay.
which means they don't have work experience, right? But they are most welcome to apply because the knowledge that they have garnered over this 10 years of studying for UPSC, it's invaluable. So
Right.
they are actually supposed to apply for YL. So
Right.
it's not the age, it's the quality of work experience which matters.
So that's what some students have also asked, that if they have a work experience which is not corporate, but if they have worked in their family business or if they have worked on a startup of their own, does that also qualify for the 2 year work experience or the duration of work experience that is required?
It does qualify, but you need to prove it to us. So
Right.
if you say I worked with a family business for 2 years, this is a hypothetical example, right? You need to at least give us something. You may have some bank salaries, you may have some pension, you may have some letter. And finally, it's not me checking it. When you come for the interview, and if you're asked, what were the responsibilities and how did you really fare? What were your challenges, family business? You should be able to talk about, right?
And so one more common doubt which I've seen across lot of questions is students are confused. So if they have, let's say, closer to 2 years, which program do you apply? So I would just like to clarify at my end that for PGP application, the cutoff date for 2 years for your 2 years work experience is 31st March of your application date. And for PGP YL, the cutoff date is 15th June of your application year.
So, fortunately, 15th June has become 31st of May now,
Okay.
uh, right? So, post your graduation, right? Full-time work experience, not even part-time, no internships, no articleships, no research during PhD is counted. So full-time work experience or proven work experience is counted as your work experience. So if by 31st March 2027, if you are meeting 2 years, you may not have it right now. You are only eligible for PGP. And if you are not meeting up to 2 years by 15th of May 2027, you are eligible for, I would say, PGP YL or Young Leaders Program, right? And again, this is not to get into do anything with uh, quality, quantity. It is the way the programs are designed. And I'm sure every student here wants to do well in what they because that's the reason they're investing their time, money, energy, and trying to get into one of the best B schools in India. So, guys, leave it to us. We know why we have designed this and what has it has got to entail. So, don't worry. Both the programs are good, but it actually complements each other rather than I would say competing with each other.
Also, I would want, if any student or any participant would want to ask the question live, you can do that. Raise your hand. You can switch on your mic and you can ask your question. So yes, I have Sampada here. Sampada, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I had two questions. One was regarding the GRE score. So, is there a minimum bar for which GRE score is considered for shortlisting?
So, Sampada, fortunately, I did mention we don't have cutoffs, right? But depending upon the profile, so I will just go through it, and I'm sure Richa is going to take it up in our own presentation also later on. Um, I generally would say a safe score as an average score. So GRE average, for example, if it is 325, right, more the better, goes without saying, right, at the end of the day. But that does not mean 324 is bad. I've got students with 319 in the classroom also. Same thing goes with GMAT. My average has been 675 near about, and I've got 575 in class also, and I've rejected 775 also, right? So again, I would say it's a holistic profile. Do not think that because other institution have a cutoff, ISB has a cutoff. We are giving you opportunity that if you think your score is slightly on the lower end for aptitude test, right, I'm sure you should be able to make it up with other aspects in your application, which includes your work experience or internships, achievements, extracurriculars, academics, essays. There are so many other avenues. So, Sampada, I hope I've answered that.
Okay. Thank you so much. I did have just one more question. So, is there any expectations from the reapplicant if you could go over that?
So at ISB, we welcome every reapplicant, which gives us, I would say, a real happiness that that they are really working very hard to get into ISB, right? So you're most welcome to apply. The big difference between I would say, a fresh application and a reapplicant would be that a reapplicant has an additional essay, and you need to write what has changed in last 1 year. So it can be in your professional journey, it can be in your learning journey, it can be in your personal journey, right? I'm sure there would be some events that you can highlight, which probably has enforced your candidature to ISB, right? So it's a renewed opportunity that I would rather say that a reapplicant has. So the way we look at reapplicant is you're most welcome. We are happy to have you here, and I'm sure you have learned from your some of the mistakes in the past, and you have come back.
So, just to add, because we're talking about reapplicants, so students had a doubt that let's say if I've applied for PGP YL this year and I could not clear it, and now next year I'm applying for PGP, am I considered a reapplicant or am I considered a fresh applicant?
You would be considered for PGP. You are a fresh applicant.
Okay, so if we change the program, we will be a fresh applicant. All right. So next we have Ashita. Ashita, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I also mentioned there a question that I graduated from 2024 from IIT Roorkee only. And then I got 1 year of international work ex, that too in Japan. Now I'm like considering working in part time, but I'm not like thinking of doing it completely as a whole. But I'm currently preparing for both GMAT and CAT simultaneously. And I was like literally concerned that will I be like eligible for PGP YL or another PGP only?
So, Ashita, I think just calculate it by yourself. You graduated 2024, right?
Right.
So far, you have got 1 year of work experience.
Yes.
We are sitting on probably let's say 15th of July for easy calculation,
Mhm.
right? You probably may start working again from 1st of August.
Oh, I actually like started working from November. Actually, for Japanese companies, we had to do a language course before our uh, orientation only. So that's why our 6 month
No,
gap
that's
is
fine.
there.
No, 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 that's perfectly fine. So just calculate by 31st March 2027.
Okay.
Would you have full-time 2 years of work experience?
No, that will be not because I've resigned already.
Okay. So goes without saying, if your work experience is less than 2 years, even by
Mm-hmm.
one day, and I'll repeat,
Okay.
even by one day,
Okay.
you are eligible for PGP YL,
Okay.
right? And it actually works in your favor. Trust me on this.
Just wanted to like have a concern that international work ex adds any point or not.
I would say, I'll put it in a different terms. International work experience would
Mm-hmm.
add real good value if you are able to tell us what have you actually been able to
Mm-hmm.
achieve, right?
Okay.
So, if you've been to Japan, but at the end of the day, sitting in Japan, you are helping an Indian company do business in India. I don't think so. It's really added value to you apart from looking at cherry blossom, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you really think that you've tried understanding the local best practices, if you can really tell us that you've tried understanding the economics there,
Mm-hmm.
efficiencies there, right? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it does add value.
So, because we're talking about eligibility, one question I had. So, is a distance bachelor's degree or a open school bachelor's degree eligible for as a part of your eligibility criteria for bachelor's program?
So I think so far I have not come across a lot of students coming and telling us, or I have never distinguished between both, right? The quality of institution does matter. So I'm sorry, but I'll just use this for example just before this. I am from IIT Roorkee, who have done a full-time program, and I come from IGNU. Goes without saying, there would be some precedence to IIT Roorkee than an open degree program, but it has got nothing to do with eligibility.
Okay. All right. Now we had a lot of questions which were very profile specific also. So one that comes to my notice is, so if I'm a CA with let's say 5 years of work ex and I already have a good package of let's say about 45 lakhs per annum, should I be considering ISB PGP course or would it add or give me growth in my already existing career?
So I think the answer is very, very straightforward, right? If you are looking at seeking newer opportunities, if you are looking at pivoting your career, I think PGP would be a great program for you. I would not be able to comment on will 45 become 35 or 45 become 90, because it's purely your performance in the classroom and the kind of opportunities that you seek post your program. If you're looking at only acceleration with no placement support, but maybe a lot of would join in executive MBAs also. We have something like PGP Pro and Max, meant for working professionals like you, who that can be done while you're working. So
Okay.
if you think that it's not placement seeking new opportunities and pivoting your career, and you just would like to learn newer things, I think please go ahead and you're most welcome to apply for our Pro and Max.
Okay. So also for a CA, if we have any CA who has not completed the graduation, but he or she has completed the CA course as whole, are they eligible to apply?
Oh yes, 100%. So this is not me; it's Indian government saying that CA is a degree. In case of bachelor plus CA, CA is considered to be post graduation. So you're most welcome to apply. Don't worry. And now this is a classic example that you spoke about, Richa. Generally, CA is done on a, I would say, open learning way, right, or a distance education format, right? At the end of the day, so how would I consider it? I would consider it as a full-fledged degree.
Okay. Amazing. So we had a very interesting question that if you had to recommend three non-negotiables a fresher should focus on before applying to ISB, what would that be according to the admissions team?
So I would say, first of all, being honest, right? Second would be to ensure that you have a clarity of goal, right? So why do you want to do an MBA, right? And research a bit about an institution that you're applying to. What typically we have seen, it's a herd effect where, oh, my friend who's got 99 percentile is applying, so I should apply. No, maybe that 99 percentiler may not even get an offer at ISB,
Right.
and you at 98 may get it. So these are three non-negotiables. That is crafting your fantastic application, making it a superstar with whatever scores you have got. But start early. Don't wait to increase your competition. Is what I would say.
Okay. I would just like to bring it to notice to all the participants that I have seen a lot of questions regarding what is the eligibility criteria, what are the ideal scores through your CAT, GRE or GMAT to apply, and the basic questions on the program. So sir has already taken us through a lot, but we also plan to take you through some of these details in the next few minutes as soon as we are done with the questions. So I would like all of you to please stay back for that because that is a quite informative session depending on the questions that you have asked. I'm sure most of your queries will be resolved with that information itself. So please stay back with us until we finish these questions. Few more questions here. All right. So I just had one more question regarding the profile again, sir. So if let's say if we have a 997 GEM profile, a general engineer male fresher with a 3 on 5 profile score, do you like should he or she target for a specific CAT score or a CAT percentile in that case?
No, I think this is again a narrative that is somehow somewhere people have started spreading. I'm sorry, guys. Gem as a word itself is for me, it's a gem,
Right.
right? So you are a general engineering male who is planning to apply at any good B school. You're most welcome to apply. And 50% of our batch is, I would say, engineers. So, which means that you have that space of 50%. And
Right.
trust me, guys, it's 50% or 60% is not an outcome of that I've been rejecting more engineers or I've been selecting more non-engineers. It's the outcome of applications that comes into us.
Right.
Again, I would say we are looking at your holistic profile, good accounts, good experience, good achievements, fantastic essay, coupled with a good score. Why not? Right?
Right.
And everything cannot be average in the application, and that's something that you guys need to look at.
Right. Amazing. So I think most of their queries were almost surrounded across the point that we have discussed. Of course, there were a few profile specific queries which relates to the diverse profiles, let's say from a fashion background or from a MBBS background. So anything that you would like to comment on the diverse background profiles if the students come from?
So diversity is something that ISB looks forward to. And that has been, I think, one of the highlights of every cohort year on year that ISB creates. We have students from different academic background, professional background. We also have a lot of times scientists joining us, students coming in from armed forces, students coming in from I would say even government parastatals. So you're most welcome to apply to ISB if you have a diverse backgrounds. And of course, we also have a keen eye on gender diversity. So if you see ISB's batch, probably again would be the unique formation where generally it is very close to 50-50 male-female ratios, right? Which hardly would happen in year on year with a lot of other institutions. So you're most welcome to apply.
Amazing. That was so good to know, sir. So now I think most of the queries are now to what is the next step ahead and how do we go about it. So I'm definitely going to take them through this entire target ISB where they can of course take our assistance, our help, our guidance to move ahead and get into this B school.
So I've got three things that I would like to talk about. Somebody wrote that placements are still not out for YL as a program, but I think I did make it very clear. At ISB, it's not YL or PGP. It's the outcome of what you do. And if it is going to give you some mental solace, our first internships or summer placement reports are already out. Have a look at it. And I'm sure I was blown looking at it, and I'm sure a lot of you would be. And finally, ISB generally has a lot of discussion they do on individual basis. For that, either through IMS or you can go to the website and book a one-on-one consulting slot. We are not going to prep you for anything. Please, guys, don't even ask for it. We can only talk about your personal questions if you have, and we can answer, break the myths. And there is another opportunity which probably IMS would come up with. We are starting with um, a particular initiative which we call it as a day at ISB. This will be conducted in August, where select students of IMS also would be can come to ISB, spend a whole day, understand what does a student do, speak to the faculty or attend a master class, right? So watch out for that space, right? It's not the school that you are going to choose. You are going to choose your next 20, 30 years. So start early, take all the help, and be honest in your application. That's my final parting words. And we all are here. You have time, but starting early, it's going to ease a lot of pressure on you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. To all those who had certain questions on how to go ahead, so I'm going to introduce to you the Target ISB program, which has been started by IMS. So generally in this program, we are targeting two courses that we talked about right now, PGP YL. So again, a lot of you had these questions. PGP YL, the tests which are considered or eligible, that makes you eligible for the program are CAT, GMAT, and GRE. So GMAT and GRE, you need to have valid scores, which means tests need to be taken within last 5 years of your application. And for CAT, only the latest CAT score is considered for the YL program, where the work experience required is anywhere between 0 to 24 months. Whereas for the PGP program, the accepted tests are GMAT and GRE. Again, the same thing, valid scores, tests taken within last 5 years, and only center-based test scores would be considered. And in this, the work experience has to be more than 24 months. So that's about these programs. Now, what does Target ISB program help you with? So we help you with 3 steps of your application. First is your test prep, where we prepare you for these exams like CAT, GMAT, GRE, using concept building lectures, your courseware books, practice questions, official mocks and manuals. And let me tell you, students who are already enrolled with us for CAT, you're already a part of this preparation. It goes without saying, right? And if you wish to apply or if you wish to prepare for GMAT or GRE, that is an optional paid on. Whereas for all these things, all the past IMS students will be getting a 35% waiver on the actual price. Second is the application assistance, where we will be helping you in detail, filling up your application form, filling up your essays, doing your profile assessment. You will be having strategy sessions with the top B School alumni. You will be doing a lot of brainstorming for your essays, LORs, because at ISB, the application form is the most important part. And it takes the maximum time to complete the application form, not days, I would say, but weeks, which is why you will be given expert guidance to do that. And the good news for CAT 26 students who are already enrolled with us for CAT 26, this is already included in your Catapult program. You do not have to pay anything extra for this. For past IMS students, we again have 35% waiver in this program. And next is the interview assistance, where you will be helped with mock interviews with ISB alumni and senior mentors. You will have access to interview prep videos, PI Bible, and you will also be prepared for scholarship interview at ISB. So ISB is known to give good scale of scholarships to majority of the batch. So that is where it is. Again, a good news for Catapult. students or CAT 26 students, this is already included in your program. So you do not have to pay anything extra for this. And you will have a 35% waiver for past IMS students. Just for information, in the founding cohort of ISB PGP YL, so the first batch has still not come out. So in the founding batch itself, IMS had 40 admits. So we take pride in saying that out of 130 students. Moving ahead, so how do I go ahead with the test scores? Again, a lot of people had a doubt on GRE, GMAT, CAT scores, what they should be targeting at. So I'll make that clear for you here. For PGP YL cohort 26-28, which is the latest cohort, who is going to be now starting the course at ISB, this is the data that we have got from the ISB admissions team themselves. For CAT, the average was 99.09 percentile, median was 99.35, where the range lied somewhere between 95 to 99. In GMAT focus, average was 684, median 680, where the range lied between 615 to 735. And for GRE, average is 330, where median is 324, and range is 325 to 340. So this is how, this is the kind of target score that you can be looking at when it comes to these exams. Also for PGP cohort, which is 26-27, the average, median, and the range for GMAT Classic, GMAT Focus, and GRE scores are as given here. So for Classic, the average is 720 with a median of 723 and a range of 640 to 780. And similar goes for GMAT Focus with an average of 672, median 675 with a range of 575 to 795. For GRE again, average is 325, median being same as 325, and range is 309 to 337. So now the question is, knowing all of these things, how to apply. So generally, ISB application goes in 4 steps. First is, of course, qualifying for the exam that you are applying through. Second is application form. Now, I have kept that in a different color to emphasize really that application form is an extremely important part of the entire process. As I said earlier, it takes long time to fill the application efficiently. And one of the main reasons for rejections at ISB is inefficient applications. So it is a strong suggestion from our end that you start working on your applications along with your CAT or GMAT preparation itself. Do not wait for your exams to be done and the deadline to come close. If you start working from now, you will end up with a good display of your profile on that. It is followed with the shortlisted students going for interviews and on-the-spot essays. And finally, the application is reviewed by the committee. This is extremely important, I feel, for all of us at this stage. For PGP YL batch of 2029, so if you'll be applying next year, your application form for round 1 has already started and the deadline is 20th December, whereas for round 2, the application deadline is 21st February. So applications at ISB happens in multiple rounds. For PGP, the round 1, again, the applications had started and the deadline is 20th September, which I believe is quite close. So whoever is interested for this and you are eligible for this, I think this is the time that you start working on it. Round 2, the deadline is 6th December, and round 3, it's 17 January 2027. Now, how will IMS as a whole will be with you on this journey? So I have just divided this journey in 5 steps where we'll be preparing you for the eligibility tests, helping you ace them, of course. Second is essay writing, one of the very, very important components of the form, ISB form, where you will be having one-on-one profile discussions with the mentor, senior mentors to draft the best versions of your essays. Then step-by-step guidance in all the aspects of form filling. Interview preparation, where, as I have mentioned before, multiple mock interviews with mentors, ISB alumni will be done so that you are prepared for the D-Day. And step 5 is, of course, you're all set for an accelerating career at ISB. So with this, all the students who are interested for either of these courses, PGP YL and PGP, and you need a personalized evaluation on your profile. How does your profile look? What are the things that you need to improve? How much weightage will be given to the profile like yours? All these are very personalized questions. So if you want a free profile evaluation, please scan this QR code and book a free profile evaluation session with us so we can guide you with your next steps ahead. So that can help you make your profile good for your application to ISB. So kindly do this. I'm keeping the screen open. Please scan this QR code, and it's a completely free profile evaluation that you can do with us and with the experts here.